What's going on, YouTube? Earth Power here with CVH,
How's it going, everybody?
and welcome to the first play-in match of the Season 3 bracket tournament, trying to find another best deck using the current Finish meta. We didn't say that in the last video, so we'll say it
We
at the top of
didn't.
this one.
It's
Check
in
out
the
the description down
description,
below.
yeah.
Yeah, we updated the Finish ban list. So Slash Charger at 1,
Well, we
a bunch of
didn't.
other cards at 2,
The
and
Finnish
then,
players,
yeah,
the
right,
Finnish
we
players
unlimited.
updated it. We didn't
Right.
do anything.
Fair enough. We're just playing with whatever their current meta is. So Clamp is unlimited now. That's the big one.
Yep, hooray.
Corile and Soulswap at 2, Slash Charger at 1, and that's pretty much it. Bombazar's still banned. Don't play Bombazar. But yeah, tell the people what we got for him today, CVH.
We have a 5 Civilization control deck versus Darkfire Rush to kick off our play-in, and if you're curious what these decks look like, there's a video earlier in the week that goes over 5 Civ Control and Darkfire Rush, and Light Darkfire Phantomac, which will be the gatekeeper that the winner of this plays against to try to get into the bracket.
Absolutely. So without further ado, we're going to take
Let's
you
jump
right in. So yeah, for those of you noticing, we have sped things up a little bit.
Yep,
But yeah,
1.25.
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Darkfire Rush. This was a deck that I was. You and I kind of talked about it a little bit over the course of like season 1 and season 2, even. But like, Fire Nature Rush is kind of the standard for rush decks, right? Like it's playing all the cards that most rush decks want to play. The strong 1-drops, the strong 2-drops. It's got it all. But the other civilizations that can be paired with fire for rush have some neat interactions as well. And Darkfire and Lightfire were the two that we hadn't had a chance to really play test, at least in this bracket. We played a lot of Lightfire with the channel years ago, almost a decade ago. But we were really excited to jump into this Darkfire, and this is my first time piloting it. So bear with me. But yeah, a lot of cool interactions with this deck with cards like Spinning Terror and yeah, which looks like to be in my hand, and cards like Jewel Spider and things like that. So having the
Yeah,
turn 1 Deadly Fighters, very good. Love to see that in a rush match, right?
you really do. I mean, I don't love to see it because I'm on the other side of the board. But yeah, I'm playing a 5 Civ control deck, which I'm really excited about. And it's been, I don't want to spoil too much, but it's been a little bit since we've done these. So yeah, I kind of forgot a lot of how these went. So that'll be fun to revisit with you as we go through this.
Absolutely. You unlock the at least 4 of your 5 civs in your first 2 turns, which is good.
Yeah,
But yeah,
this
5
deck
civ
definitely
is
plays too many multi-civs, but that's kind of the
right.
par for the course when you're jamming 5 civs and 40 cards.
Right. And that's where this deck is, quote unquote, not struggling, but it's a lot of funky one-ofs. This deck kind of felt like Rebirth when we were building it, where we're playing a lot of one-ofs and two-ofs, just to make sure we're able to do all the things with this control deck that we want to do.
Yeah, I do. I mean, it basically plays a. We talked about it in the profile, but the rebirths and the forbos help the toolbox it a little bit and make those one-ofs have value. And then Bronze Arm Tribe, which I saw in turn 3, is one of the key cards. Helps mana fix, helps you get to those late game control bombs. So far the curve has been good. I did just get a Shield Trigger Locomotiver to pop Snake Attack out of your hand. It's a fun card.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Snake Attack. It's one of those cards. Darkfire Rush. If you haven't broken any shields by turn 4, maybe Darkfire Rush wasn't winning in the first place, but Snake Attack is kind of one of those sneaky cards that can just make 2 creatures very threatening mid to late game if Darkfire Rush goes that far.
Yeah,
You have the
Searing
Searing
Wave
Wave
is
though, and
incredible.
that's very good. That's exactly what this control deck needs to see.
It does,
It's one of
unfortunately. Yeah.
I think you're playing one of in this list, but yeah,
Yeah,
and you get
like
through
we said,
Spiral Gate, which is unfortunate.
it's one of pretty much every spell in the 3 forbos to help toolbox them out. But yeah, it does pop my own Spiral Gate, which is sad there. But yeah, your draw is only a Deadly Fighter. Thank goodness it wasn't Pyrofighter, which would be very problematic. And we are approaching a point where 5 Civ control could actually stabilize here if I can deal with this Deadly Fighter and not lose my
Yeah.
last shield to it. We'll see what I got. Now
So
the turns are getting slower. I'm starting to think.
now I have to pull up the list because I have also forgotten quite a bit of what's going on here.
I've got
So
my
let me
5
get
Civ
to that
control
really
deck. It does play 2 Sky Swords if that's what you were wondering.
not Sky Sword. I'm thinking Meltdown. Does this deck play Meltdown?
It
I've
does.
forgotten.
But
That's
yeah,
right.
it does. Meltdown is somewhere. I
That's
Delix back
right.
something. Did I
So
Delix back a, I think Rebirth was coming back to my hand after the Thrash into Belix. Yeah, Thrash Belix is great. Lot of defense, but it does set me back 2 mana. So I can't even play the Meltdown I got this turn, but I already have Sky Sword ready to go. Things are really lining
yeah,
up well for me after that Searing Wave. Meltdown goes into
Exactly.
my mana.
There it is. There it is. There it is. Yeah, Deadly Fighter had to swing into the blocker, didn't draw the remover. Jewel Spider's kind of cute.
Ooh, I can tell
But
that's the
again,
proxy Meltdown too, because it looks awesome. The full
oh yeah,
foil.
super shiny, full foil, very clean looking card compared to our almost 20-year-old cards on the rest of the table.
They look fine. They're doing their best. For
The bloom
20-year-old
kind
cards, they
of
look amazing. Was the
yeah.
bloom also a proxy?
I think that's the Japanese bloom. I don't think that one's a proxy. I mean, quote unquote proxy, right? It's a Japanese card.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you played the Deadly Fighter. I guess you kind of maybe have to, but like
You
still,
play the
it's
Deadly Fighter hoping you draw some form of removal, whether that's Comet Missile or I think the deck's playing Volcanic Arrows. So if I can
yeah.
see it, great. That means I'll get through for a shield. But
Now you couldn't even really, if you wanted to, Jewel Spider to draw a shield because then Lone Tier will die at the end of the turn.
yeah,
So I'm
it's super
curious why you're thinking
unfortunate.
about that, since if you did
Yeah,
that, Lone Tier would kill itself.
think about it. I think it's mostly just because I'm sad. But
Can we talk about how
Elixia,
Elixia is on the board?
yeah, that's
That's
that's a
awesome.
big big
Yeah.
card right now. 16,000 power,
Yeah. Oh, there's the
triple breaker.
power of Forbos Toolbox and Crimson Hammer for the 2-cost removal, so I can actually just attack here, not worry too much about Volcanic Arrows, getting rid of blockers plus speed attackers. I do have just enough to win the game if I don't hit a Volcanic Arrows.
Yep, and the last
And even
shield.
if I do, the last shield Volcanic Arrows would have to be the one.
Yeah, and even then, I can't play too fast. Too speed attackers.
Season
Can't
3,
do
we're
it.
doing it right.
So I
Wait
get
a second.
for yeah. So we think about this. We're like, wait, it doesn't work. Yeah, so I just
Yeah,
have to
you
hold it.
actually can't play
And wait
Volcanic
for it.
Arrows there. You have to get it in the last
Yeah,
shield.
yeah.
And you do.
Love to see it.
You're alive for another
Love
turn,
to
buddy.
see
You
it.
only have to deal
Live
with 2
for
blockers and 2 shields.
a big old triple breaker.
Yep.
Yeah, don't believe it's happening.
Yeah. So that was I mean this game is over. With Elixia finishing
Yeah,
off, that was like a masterclass of like control doing its thing. It just
absolutely.
when you don't get mana screwed and you get the Searing Wave, that 5-civ control deck just looks like a 4-civ foul deck with also added flexibility from water. Everything just went exactly correctly for it that game.
Right. Yeah. Seeing the Syrian wave on time was incredibly critical. But
Hmm.
yes, I think otherwise everything else, yeah, the deck just kind of played out after that, and everything went really really well. And shout outs to Elixir.
Yeah.
You were not the whole reason we suggested 5-civ control in the first place was for Elixir, and then we got to deck building, and CVH was like, "Do we play Elixir? Do we not just play another finish?" I'm like, "Why are we even playing the deck for not playing
I'm a little
Elixir?" And there
masochistic.
it was.
I love playing control and I love getting mana screwed, so I was on board for 5-civ regardless of the finisher lineup.
But I think Elixir just had to be there and
Yeah.
showed
I
off
mean,
well there, even though Volcanic Arrow still
there are
somehow
some.
got
So
it.
the finisher lineup, if you don't want to go back and watch the profile, it's Elixia, it's Bolmedius, Bazagazil, and a Bloom. It does not have, and I guess Meltdown is kind of a pseudo finisher, but it doesn't even have
Right,
Cryptic Totem, actually. So like we
right.
did cut like good cards for the worst fun cards, and like mana fixing was a thing too. Like Bloom is probably worse than Cryptic, but Bloom is a blue and white card, and we really try to balance the civilizations and have good mana. So
Yeah,
yeah, nice. And now, hey, Darkfire is on the play, which it
yeah.
might have
Let's
been
see if
last
I
time. I
have.
don't remember.
Looks like I have the one drop in my hand. Thinking about mana choice.
There you
Yep,
go.
there it is. So here's Hoban. Um, yeah, Deadly Fighter comes down. There's no answer for that, so we'll at least be able to pick off the shield, which is good. 5-civ's not playing any one drops, so
Yeah.
hoping to just kind of catch you in the same predicament that you were last game, where you kind of have to mana fix in those first couple of turns, and that's where Rush can hopefully take advantage of 5-civ.
Yeah, I
I
don't put a
think,
multi down, which is I think a little rare. Maybe the only multis I have are things that I really want to play, like Skysword. Wow, look at all of these one drops, dude. Lone Tier is a strong card. So's Terrapit, though.
so's Terrapit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't. Let me
Terrapit
check
gets
how
rid
many
of Lone Tier.
Terrapits I'm playing because I'm pretty sure it's not a number that you're going to be happy with. It's one
Yeah, I think it's
Terrapit.
yeah.
Oh, that's
Uh,
classic me. No, it's
I
actually
think
classic you, but
yeah. It's I deserve this. It's
after
basically
last
what this
season,
game's down to. Anytime I run into a shield trigger,
things
so
are
Jewel
still going
Spider's good.
okay. Yeah, Jewel Spider is
Yeah,
solid.
like to see Jewel Spider. You had to miss your two. Crystal Memory's good. but unfortunately, again, you've still got to find 3 civs. I'd venture to say Crystal Memory grabs Crimson Hammer here if you don't already have it, so you can maybe mana fix with a multi-civ, but like you're in a tough
Yeah,
spot.
Crimson
You're in a
Hammer would
real
be
tough
good.
spot.
There's no 3 cost removal that I would want to play. Like Bronze Arm is usually a good turn 3 play, but I'm already staring down lethal if I go for Bronze Arm into wave, and then I'd have to get very lucky, so that doesn't seem correct. Well, I
Yeah.
guess Miraculous Snare is a 3 cost removal, but not incredible compared to just
Yeah.
playing Crimson Hammer, so I'm
Just
probably going to go
playing
with
the
that. I'm just
removal.
going to take my time and count shield blast. Oh my goodness. Oh my
Hey,
goodness.
hey. See?
Shield
Not as
triggers.
easy as it sounds. You're welcome. I think that's more my fault for you
Yeah.
saying it than I think you.
You've
I
trained
definitely
me wrong.
yeah,
Shield triggers
Pavloved
in the
you.
deck are Holy Awe, Spiral Gate, Crystal Memory, Ghost Touch, Locomotive, or 1 Terrapit. I had to say that's just the one of. No Fire Shield triggers, double Soulswap. It's one of the more flexible cards.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm probably counting as I look at my
yeah.
hand, and I can barely see what's in it.
It's difficult. It's tough too because I feel like 5 civ doesn't really have a good turn 4 either. Um, just to deal with kind of the backlash if you don't have a trigger here.
It does
So
have
like I think
Charger, Volcano Charger. Interesting. I mean, now that
yeah,
I'm thinking about it, like Blizzard of Spears is in the deck instead of Burst Shot, and maybe it's confirmation bias because I'm looking at this board right now as I get my shields broken, but Burst Shot over Blizzard of Spears would probably make a lot of sense too. But we went with Blizzard of
yeah,
Spears, so 1 fewer trigger in this matchup.
yeah. I think the idea was to make it like able to compete against it's just kind of a wider array of decks, hoping that it wouldn't fall into a rush matchup early, and
Yeah,
clearly here we are.
you
So
see, you act like this is random. You did this to me.
sure did, sure did.
I mean, Blizzard of Spears is also quite good if you have the early game stabilization and you can just Blizzard of Spears a couple Ganta. That's great
Love to hear the live audio here. I'm pretty sure I asked you what you got. I think I always
every
do that.
time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you went with Belix. Belix makes more sense if I can't remove it this next turn, because it'll eventually take out 2 of those bronze
Yeah,
arm
yeah.
tribes, and it'll act as a 2 cost or a double
It's
removal, if you will, whereas
yeah.
Crimson only destroys 1 thing, and it's
It's
something you could stick on
optimistic,
board
but I do
if you
have to
can find
start.
Volcano Charger. Yeah,
Yeah, it's optimistic, but I haven't put any spells in mana, and I have to start getting some 2-for-1 value because if I Crimson Hammer, you're gonna play a third creature, you're gonna break my shields, and I'm still gonna have absolutely need a shield trigger to come back at all. So Belix,
yeah,
since your board can attack and it actually has to because Deadly Fighter, even if you don't have a great like volcanic arrows or something, hopefully it gets some value. And I think your hand is actually volcanic arrows and maybe now a speed attacker even. It's definitely
yeah.
it's 2 arrows,
Yeah, I had
which
the
is actually
arrows, and I
great.
just drew another one. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
No mana, no tapping,
it's worked out.
and we're
Yep,
jamming it.
we're running for lethal here. Yeah, Deadly Fighters attack first. I want you to have to deal with the Jewel Spider if you see it. Realizing now that Terrapit was the only hard removal, so probably should have just swung with Jewel
Um,
Spider first. But yeah, that's the game.
yeah, I guess you're technically right, but yeah,
Yeah,
generally speaking, decks with more Terrapits, you would do it the way you did it.
right.
But yeah, that was good. The Soul Swap with Marrow Ooze, I was going up to 4 mana that turn, so couldn't really do anything about that. And yeah, that was for if game 1 was showing control or showing what control can do when everything goes its way, game 2 was all about what Darkfire Rush should ideally look like. That
That
was just
yeah,
what it does.
that is yeah. And Darkfire Rush has as many 1 drops as Fire Nature does. Granted, they're a little bit on the weaker side. I mean, you're trading Sniper Mosquito and Hardy Captain for Lone Tier and
Yeah.
Marrow Ooze. Marrow Ooze destroys itself instead of bouncing, and Lone Tier can't be alone on the board. But
Yeah, I mean Marrow
um,
Ooze is weak, but I think Lone Tier is quite good. I mean, if I hadn't had
yeah,
Terrapit,
for
you
sure.
drop in that turn too. That's solid.
For
I
sure.
think I think
Yeah,
where Darkfire suffers is honestly like turn 2 missing out on Quixotic and Ganta and Poisonous Mushroom follow-ups to Sniper. It's like the turn 2
just,
plays are generally a little bit weaker,
right.
but
Yeah.
that's okay.
Fire nature gives you the ability to just run over any of the turn 2 blockers that would be seen, any creatures that would contest. Fire
Yeah.
nature has the ability to deal with them for sure.
We
So
saw that game
I
1,
agree.
right? Like with the Searing
Yeah,
Wave play, like if
absolutely.
there was a Ganta or two on the board, then that would have still been me dying in a turn.
Yeah, I mean, if you had just had a tapped creature on board, spinning terror, it's pretty good. Spinning terror does trade with the with the Belix and other 3000 power blockers, which is
It's true.
cute. But
Yeah.
for the most part, yes.
Spinning Terror is
That
getting
is
a
where
lot of
Dark
play this bracket because it's also in the Water Dark deck. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
it's
a
the
fun
it's the
card.
format of Spinning Terror even. Uh,
Terror.
Terror. And yeah, controls back to being on the play. Let's see if I have some more solid answers than last game.
I will shout it out now that we're in game 3 and however many minutes into this match. But shout out to the Garabon Games play, Matt, and Ben Rowe for sending me one. Um, really appreciate that. Like showing off the mat of his Garabon Games. If you guys haven't checked that out yet, definitely go check it out. It was
Wow, your
a
hand is
ton of
not
fun.
good. Your hand has a
It's
lot
yeah,
of spells.
a lot of spells, a lot of fire stuff that I can't necessarily play right now. Your
My
hand
hand
also
isn't
not
very
looking
good.
great.
Yeah, it's
But
just Spiral
Spiral
Gate's
Gate's
good.
good enough,
Yeah.
especially if I'm just gonna be missing my drops here. So
And if you're wondering why Bloom went into mana that turn instead of first turn, it's because I just drew it on turn 2. I definitely would have put it in mana first to potentially Spiral Gate a 1-drop if I could have.
absolutely.
Yeah, double swap in this matchup is not fantastic for the hand, but hey, one of them is
Not
going to go down in
great.
mana. And I have the bronze arm right
You
when I
did
need
find your
it.
bronze arm. Yeah, you drew it this turn for sure. So that worked out. Again, Kook Balloon's not really threatening too much. You still have the bounce for it later, especially since I missed turn 1 and didn't apply any pressure. And you were on the play.
Yeah.
Things are looking well. I did find my other 2-drop in
Yeah.
Spinning Terror this turn.
If you were hoping to snake attack this game, you've got to put it down to play Spinning Terror if you want.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the tough one. I'm debating it, and it looks like I'm ending up going for
whoa, this is
the Pyro.
spicy.
So my thought process here is that you can't deal with Kook. So if I
That
can
attack
attack with
order
it,
was weird,
Pyro will
right?
take a shield. Yeah. So yeah, it was. Yeah, for
All right,
sure.
making sure.
So yeah, for sure you swing with the other one first. But I mean, if I can find another creature to play next turn, or if I can find another 1-drop, um, or just 2 creatures in general. Kook Balloon takes this 3rd shield, puts you to 2. Snake Attack is just kind of a win con if you don't put anything on board. And you are very how many Pyros are in my deck. So that's fun. Because I
Yep.
think we were playing around with the numbers a little bit with some of these rush decks, but
Oh, I
yeah,
know what I
this
was
was
doing. I was debating if I I was trying to read Pyrofighter's effect because I was considering soul swapping out Kook for your other Pyrofighter and bouncing it if it returned at the end of my turn.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I don't remember if it does that. I think it doesn't. Wow, I'm just jamming Elixia. What was I do? This is awesome.
This is
I'm
great.
about to am I
Eh,
about to try to race this Fire Dark deck with
I
Elixia
mean,
on turn
yeah, Kook
4?
Balloons. Kook Balloons looking real not great. And yeah, there it
Turn
goes right
4
back to my
triple
hand.
breaker. Let's do it.
So currently it is a double breaker. So
Oh,
you need fire mana, but
I'll get there.
yes, you are close. You are close. So the
Even a
race the
double and
race
then a
is
triple.
almost on. Yeah, so this is another one of those turns where if I could have just found, I think, the 1-drop, playing the 1-drop in the Pyro, sniping a shield, and then Snake Attack might just get me there over the course of the next turn or two. But
Well, Snake Attack Pyro wouldn't set up lethal because you can't afford to
you're
sneak
right.
attack
You're
and
right. As I'm saying it, it doesn't work out. So
yeah.
um,
I'm hoping that if I made that play last turn, I have removal in my hand to deal with whatever you played. So we'll see.
okay. See if we thought ahead more than a turn here.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe
we've
it's just
seen
all
your
I
entire
had, but
hand from the front, and you haven't shown your hand in the past couple of turns. So,
yeah, I like to
but you
keep
have
people
played out
guessing.
every option at least from the beginning.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, you have a big-ish hand. I mean, four-ish cards, I think, 3 or 4.
Because part of me wants to remove things, but another part also is like, okay, if Elixia's going to truly be successful here, I got to make this a 2-turn, which means I need to play something this turn that can attack. This would be a fantastic turn for Magmarex, which is
Yeah,
not in the deck.
technically, and so here's the other piece of this too: is like you're not dead on board.
Oh
Like
yeah,
I'm still not threatening lethal, so you can play that double break, grab some sort of fire card with
yeah.
Forbos,
I
and
think
then
that's
just
the
set up
idea.
lethal. So
I think that's the idea because your deck has no answer to Elixia. It does have
you
volcanic
could
arrows for
also,
Forbos, but
yeah, you could also get Meltdown, which kind of works both ways, right? So if Meltdown's in your deck, you grab Meltdown, even if you find fire mana, great, meltdown gets you there. If you don't find fire mana, then meltdown goes down and you go for the triple with
Yeah,
Elixir first.
I mean,
But
meltdown is
if you
great, but I
find
would still
fire, yeah,
attack. I would still
right, no, for
attack.
sure. You
Yeah,
definitely still attack here for sure. But what I'm saying is meltdown gives you the win both ways, and meltdown avoids volcanic arrows if I break 2 shields this turn. So,
well,
uh,
no,
yes, it does.
you would go down to 1 shield if you'd only leave me at 1.
Right,
Which means if the last shield was
but
arrows, you
volcanic.
could still. Well, no, I would
But I
attack in
would
either
have to
order.
I
Yeah.
would have right. I would have to destroy the shield with arrows if I break you down to 1.
Well, I'm saying if
So
you
it
break me
does.
down to 1 and then I melt down the 2 and you have 1 shield left, that last shield could still be arrows, but I would just attack with Horbo's first. So it
Right.
doesn't really
That's what
matter.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So, and meltdown will take me down to 1 shield if I put you down to 1. But yes. So I think meltdown's the play here. I think you're gonna go for APOC. It looks like so. Maybe meltdowns and shields.
Apoc's good too, because if you don't pyro me and just play more things, I don't know what I'm gonna get. Honestly, I'm just taking forever to make the decision. Definitely think I got a double break this turn. I think
Yeah.
actually I don't have any fire in my hand, so I'm just like, which fire is best?
Which bear is best?
Yeah. And it shouldn't actually matter a ton unless I need to play a
Yeah.
different 7 next turn, and then I can't grab the meltdown because it'll come in tapped.
Well,
But
that's what
there's
I'm
no
saying.
7 that I would
Meltdown,
need.
yeah, meltdown works both ways because it acts as the fire. I think that's a discussion we're
But it
having
doesn't
actually
actually
right now.
work as mana because it comes in tapped. So if I need to play 7 mana worth of cards next turn for whatever reason, then I put
Yeah,
meltdown down and it doesn't do the thing.
no, for sure. But it still presents lethal on your board. So
Yeah, I mean, also if I
unless I
grab
draw Marrow
meltdown
Ooze,
though,
if I draw Marrow Ooze, though, it's bad news. I
well,
think
here's
so.
another
Maybe that's
thing.
the conversation. Oh
The
boy.
only way
Yeah.
meltdown presents actual lethal for sure is if I draw fire mana, which I'm unlikely to do. Also, if I grab meltdown and you break 2 shields, that's silly. You shouldn't do that, right? Like you would just break 1 with the deadly fighter. So meltdown is ineffective, puts you at 2 shields, and then I can't go Forbos Elixir to attack, and then you still have volcanic arrows as an out. So like you can just play
Yeah.
around meltdown if I grab it by just only breaking 1 and play another creature and then
Right.
killing me next
Yeah,
turn.
you're right. I forgot that I get to see what you pick here. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So we worked ourselves through it in the same amount of time it's taking you to make the decision live at
Yeah.
1.5 speed. So here we are.
1.25. Get it together.
1.25. Sorry
Yeah.
about that. Sorry about that. That's
I think
on
I'm
me.
finally counting my shield triggers now, which is something I probably should have done at the beginning of that, but it's happening.
It's a long one.
And
Got him deep in the tank in the first play and match of season 3.
yeah, it's funny because I know I don't really have like any other lines. I just basically grab a mountain with this Forbos and try to jam a 2-turn kill with Elixir.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of funny to think about it taking so long.
I mean, you have seen 2 arrows. There are just 2 in my mana, so
yeah, and like your deck doesn't even have shield trigger creatures, so it's like there's not a whole lot of
like I
outs to
said,
rush here.
Marrow Ooze is
Oh yeah, that's why I grabbed the plague.
we got there. We got there.
That's funny. I grabbed plague because I'm worried about Marrow Ooze. Oh, and I think I do have fire mana. Okay, so I already had fire mana in my hand, and I was debating because if I had fire mana, I don't want to play it last turn. I only want to double, then I want to triple. So I think I have
Right.
fire mana in my hand, and then I was thinking about either Apocalypse Vice or
Melt or plague there.
yeah.
Like
Wait, do I
meltdown's
have fire
another
mana?
thing,
Because
but
Apocalypse
I
Vice
think
deals with
meltdown
it too.
apocalypse Slice, yeah. I mean, again, we'll find out. Here we go.
I don't know.
Here we go. My
Maybe I
turn.
don't have
Hopefully,
fire. I think maybe I don't have fire, and I'm just hoping I draw. No, because I would have grabbed fire. That's dumb. Yeah, this is funny. It's a funny game.
am I
There's the
playing
ooze.
Oh, I have the ooze and the fast attacker, speed attacker, whatever the hell it is.
Pyro's still attacking last for secret reasons. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do I have lethal? Let's find out. Now I should have fire mana. I hope. If
Yeah,
I
it's
don't, I think I
interesting
die.
there. I could have played snake attack there and accomplished the same thing. It's interesting.
Oh, I don't. So I put
Hide
rebirth
and
down and I
seek.
hide and seek the marrow ooze. Okay, this gets there. It gives me the fire mana.
We try to figure out if it's random or not.
Oh, it is.
And you roll the 6 on a 5 card hand.
I do.
All right, got the count. So here we go. Here we go. We're doing
If
it.
any of these is arrows, number 3, I lose the game.
Da-na-na. Da-na-na. Da-na-na-na.
You're slow rolling this one.
We are for some reason. Okay, all right. Yep, it wasn't it. All right. And
There we
5
go.
Civ Control takes game 1 in the play-in tournament. Off to 5 Civ is now in the gatekeeper match versus 3 Civ Phantomac. So yeah, that was a nail biter if ever there was one. What a way to
Yeah.
intro season 3, am I right?
Yeah, I totally forgot that. I mean, it's been a while, right? But it was fun to relive the fact that I went Bronze Arm into turn 4 Elixia against Rush. And I was just
Yeah.
like, nope, you can deal with this. And we'll see
Yeah.
how it goes.
5 Civ racing the Rush deck.
Yeah.
And it worked. I mean, hey, when Rush misses its turn 1 on the draw and doesn't see at least a great turn 2, things worked out.
Yeah,
So
your hand was rough
and
when you
Rush
top
even
decked
still
Bronze
almost
Arm.
got there. Yeah, it still came down to a trigger at the very end too. So shout outs to 5 Civ Control and
Yeah.
you piloting it to victory. So it's off against up against 3 Civ Phantomac, and that match will be coming to you guys here in the next couple of days. So stay tuned for that one. CVH and I back in the booth to talk about what I'm still considering it your favorite deck. I don't know if it is or not, but
Not at all. I enjoy
yeah,
it.
but yeah, for sure. So you will be piloting Phantomac, and I will be getting behind 5 Civ Control for my first bout with it here in the play-in tournament for
Yeah.
Season 3's bracket tournament. So stay tuned, leave a like, let us know what you guys think of the match below. Go check out the deck profiles that we did for all 3 of these, Darkfire, 5 Civ Control, and Phantomac, as we go into the match here in the coming days.
Yeah.
Until next time, guys. Peach.
Each.